We're very excited today to get started to talk about modern workplace. So before we jump into the panel, get the conversations going, why don't we have a quick intro with everybody? So Sonia, why don't you get started?
Thanks. Hi everyone, my name's Sonia Cuff. I'm a Microsoft MVP with a technical IT pro background. After doing managed services in the SMB space, I consult to SMBs about what technology they should be using and how they should be using it in their business.
G'day everyone, Scott Ward, work for a company called Digital Infusions. I'm an MVP as well. And I work with large organisations in helping them figure out what it is that they're trying to achieve and then looking at how technology can drive that outcome. So kind of blend the business with the technology. I sit in that cusp.
Thanks, Scott. Jaron Cohen. I'm the product manager for Windows, and prior to that, I was the solution seller for Office 365, and before that, BPOS, and before that, MMS. So if anyone knows Microsoft Managed Services, you get a free stick-on star.
There you go. All right, so let's jump right into it. We're going to talk about modern workplace. I know it's been a big buzzword for for a couple months now. So let's demystify what a modern workplace means and what it looks like. So Sonia, if I were to ask you, elevator pitch, what's a modern workplace? Tell me about it.
So to me, a modern workplace is about a working environment that supports the way we want to work with the tools that we need to get the job done. And what we've seen in the past is that it used to be that work was the place that had all the cool tech, and at home you were pretty limited in what you had, and it's so flipped the other way. We have better tech at home than we do in our workplaces, so it's about balancing that equilibrium.
And from that perspective, I know Microsoft has been innovating a lot in this area of modern workplace through everybody's journey on digital transformation. So Jaron, from a Microsoft perspective, I know Microsoft has a full suite of technology under Microsoft 365. Do you care to share what Microsoft 365 is made up of and how it enables the modern workplace?
Yeah, so Microsoft 365 is Microsoft at an engineering level and at a product level bringing together three parts of our key business, which is Office 365 for that sort of core productivity platform, Windows, and our management layer from EMS. But what's really important is it's about bringing that together to deliver great outcomes for our customers. So enabling our customers to be more creative, to better work as teams, to be more safe and secure, and critically for our IT managers out there to deliver simpler technology to end users.
So I know especially today, right? A lot of, speaking with customers in the sessions today, there's a lot of goodness coming out of Microsoft around modern workplace, especially with Microsoft 365. So Scott, as you work with customers and talk to people, I'm sure there's a lot of excitement, but there's a lot of questions as well, like, okay, it's great, we have, SharePoint for collaboration, Yammer for a lot of the, company-wide interaction, and then there's teams and groups. How do you explain to your customer the value of each technology and essentially when to use what?
So that's a really, really good question. So there's a couple of things, right, in terms of this. When you're looking to, essentially a business is a movement, right, and you're looking to build a movement behind an outcome. Now, in order to do that effectively, what they say for people is you need to have an aspiration that is greater than the individual agendas and a creative place that you come together to progress that agenda. Now, Office 365 offers from a place perspective or virtual place perspective, offers an array that actually allows different work styles to connect, be it in OneNote or SharePoint or Yammer or whatever like that. But it really comes down to work style. So in Teams, what we see is a lot of the work that gets done there has an element that is high in cohesion, but whereas in Yammer, it's where diversity is more a priority.
Sure.
So, and you use them for, like, if you're looking to innovate at scale, then diversity is what you want. If you're looking to execute fast, then you want cohesion around an outcome. And so, and the virtual spaces that these different platforms offer facilitate those outcomes in different ways.
Got it. So out of curiosity, anybody here using Teams?
Do I count?
You loving Teams? Yeah? So if I may ask, so which group in your company takes advantage of Teams most? Any specific department? Which is what, IT or? Pricing. Are you in sales? Finance. Do you mind? So can you share? I mean, I put you on the spot here.
We found some
This
new
is
experts.
fascinating, right? So one of the things we're seeing in the modern workplace It's less about IT using this technology. So can you share how you guys in finance use Teams?
It's really how we collaborate and talk. So when we do projects, or even if it's just a proposal we're working on,
Sure.
That's our hub. That's where we put all the documents. That's where we talk about it. And I mean, for me, it's easy to see what meetings are coming up, who's doing what, if anybody's worked on something, or if they haven't worked on something, you can sort of follow them up. So yeah, it's my central location to go if I'm working with anybody.
So was it easy for your group to, your finance colleagues to jump on it, use it, love it?
I mean, we're pretty fast-paced in our team, so as soon as a new app comes out, one of us is trying it.
Sure.
And then it's almost, I guess, you sort of, not bully, but you bully people into, hey, can use this because it's really good and I like it, so you'll like it too.
Awesome. What's your name?
Emma.
Emma. Well, thank you, Emma. Let's give Emma a big round of applause. Emma drinks on me, so feel free, yeah? All right. So Sonia, are you seeing the same trend, though? Like, for all these new workloads, new technologies like Teams and groups, the adoption is just amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely is. And I think you've hit the nail on the head in terms of getting that excitement and that buy-in from the end users. Because you've got to remember, digital transformation is not an IT project. Digital transformation is a business project, just happens to have some IT components. And so we need to find those champions and those digital champions in your organization that are going to go, this is cool because it helped me do this better and I'm going to share that with my peers. Comes across so much better and helps adoption so much more than the IT department go, yeah, you now need to do this, this and this in your day. So that adoption's perfect.
And the other key point, as Emma raised, right, they're very focused on a specific purpose.
Yeah.
It's not like, here's Teams, here's Group, here's SharePoint, have a good life, don't talk to IT anymore. But they're very intentional. Oh, we're working on proposals, we're working on budgets, we're working on pricing. And that's the path to success. So if you guys haven't checked it out, make sure you go to Fast Track, fasttrackmicrosoft.com. There's Productivity Library, where it's very use case driven on how you take advantage of these modern workplace tools. Now, let me ask you, Jaron, what are you hearing from customers around these new innovations in the Microsoft Cloud on helping them getting their job done?
Yeah, so what we're hearing is the impact that this technology is having on end users. And it's phenomenal when we talk to our customers that have done these journeys, that have deployed these technologies. So much of the business case is around sort of IT management, the very logical things like security and how do we improve our posture. But what's phenomenal when we see these cloud-based technologies actually get deployed, the real benefit is in the transformational way that people can actually work inside the organization. So what we're hearing is just the impact that just having a rapidly adopting set of technologies can have, and that just discovery bit inside the organization is absolutely phenomenal.
I mean, just today, there was a session on Teams with Air New Zealand, and they're talking about how to use Teams in the flights with bots so that it can alert the ground staff once the plane is approaching. So to make sure there's no delays, the luggages and all that. It's phenomenal. It's not just about sending emails or working on documents anymore. It's really transforming how people get their job done.
Yeah, look, absolutely, and it's that shift away from managing that infrastructure to delivering a service to the business that is truly transformational.
I mean, that's what you call shift happens, right? Shift happens. I got to be clear about that. So Scott, I mean, I have to ask you, does mobility come into picture? Meaning, in this day and age of the cloud, of various platforms and tools and technology, how much emphasis do companies have on using mobile devices?
So mobile devices are pretty much assumed from now on. In fact, I actually remember the day that it switched. We brought these millennials in because we could tell that they are actually now formed a large part of our workforce.
Sure.
And I asked them, because we were working in the bank at the time, and it was a very sort of closed down environment. And my question to them was, well, what do you guys think about us locking Facebook down at the server? And they were like, we don't care, it's on our mobiles. And this was like 2005. And from that minute I was like, okay, this is a new world. So mobile is assumed now. It's not part of the conversation. It's
you don't even ask or talk about it, right?
It's just there. And if you're not able to deliver the same experience across every platform, and people just want universal accessibility. Like the question then becomes why, and if you can't deliver it, then they're going to go and find. It's when shadow IT comes in, and they'll default to their own solutions that do.
Absolutely, and that's one of the key areas. Like a lot of people are very impressed with the transformation of Microsoft, right? If you look at the iOS App Store, the top apps are Microsoft apps.
Yeah. Look, and Microsoft is such a... So I've been working with Microsoft, as many people here are, for quite a while. But what I've been really impressed with is how dogged Microsoft has been in its own transformation. So every sort of 6 months or so, there's a whole cascade of new metrics. There's a whole cascade of new priorities. But they are walking the talk. They are eating their own dog food.
Exactly. I mean, anybody here read Satya's new book, Hit Refresh? Oh, wow. If you haven't, phenomenal book. I mean, talking about transforming a whole company, and they're continually doing that, right? So Sonia, let me ask you, so just being at this event today, the conversations you had, is this different than maybe 2-3 years ago around the idea of a modern workplace, how we can work, and how technology can enable people? And what's the difference? Like, how has the conversation shifted?
Even though this is a technical event, I think the technical questions have changed. And so it's not so much technical changes about how do we upgrade, it's more about how do we secure and how do we enable. And so the technical questions are about, we want to enable the business to do this. How do we do it securely? How do we manage the strings and behind the scenes to make sure that the information's protected and it's backed up and we can restore it? Because we want the business to go out and explore with this. We want them to play with the data, and we want them to have this capability.
Sure. And that's, I think that's a big shift, right?
Yeah.
Where the conversation's not even about, keeping the lights on. I can't wait for Patch Tuesdays. No?
I can't.
You can't?
I'm the Windows guy.
There you go. No, I'm done with Patch Tuesdays. But now it's really the idea of enabling the business, right? All these technologies are there, and it's a matter of lighting it up and solving a business need. Yes, sir.
So we did a number of, working with a number of organisations and talking with the tech teams, and quite often there's a bit of trepidation about coming into 365. And one of the things that we've asked these guys is, how do you feel this is going to be the last ever Exchange migration that you ever have to do? And that is quite confronting. But what then happens is when people realise that actually our role shifts from keeping the lights on to actually taking the business forward, actually allows us to start to do the innovative stuff, the really high value stuff that is exciting, that is fast moving, because we've offloaded all that crap. Suddenly when the light switches on, it's a very different conversation. But you've got to go through that, oh shit, what's going on, into that sense-making piece, oh my God, this is going to be brilliant.
I mean, Scott, you bring up a good point, right? Part of that shift, too, is also the lines have been blurred with roles and responsibilities, especially with the cloud. Because back in the day, you're the Exchange guy, you're the SharePoint dude, you're the security gal, but you can't draw those lines anymore. I mean, we have to work together, right?
Totally.
I can't just throw it over to you, you go figure out AAD, and I'll just do my SharePoint thing. Just doesn't work like that.
Well, and the other thing that we're seeing is that IT, has for many years, has been sidelined as a function under the CFO. So it's been commoditised. But now it's becoming a revenue-generating tool. So,
absolutely.
And that's where it needs to be. It's a strategic tool.
Yeah. All right, so we've got a few minutes left before we jump into the next panel. If there's one tip you can provide everybody to accelerate their modern workplace journey, especially with their Microsoft investments, what would that one tip be? So think hard. Let's start with Sonia.
I can't boil it down to one. Look, you need strong buy-in from leadership. You need to know what your end goal is, and you need to be flexible in the middle with how you get there.
Everything that Sonia said, and I'd also suggest if you are looking to sort of expedite the adoption piece, I'd start with Teams, because that allows you to put a veneer on top of a lot. You've got to get a lot in place, but it puts a veneer that allows you to get forward faster. That and Yammer.
Start with Teams, right? Yeah.
And as the Microsoft guy, we're investing serious dollars marketing our products through our products. Use the investments we're making in Windows, Office 365, in terms of how we enable your workers to better use the technology. They're built in, get them in front of your users.
Awesome. And for me, I think one big tip for everybody is just do it. I mean, the technology's there, light it up. I love Teams, and almost always approach it with a specific purpose, helping finance, helping project management, helping HR, and don't forget, fasttrackmicrosoft.com, productivity library. Well,
Thanks, Dirk.
let's give everybody a big round of applause. Thank you for this panel.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank
All
you.
right.